How do I feel about mixed blood women? Like half black, half white, half Arab, half whatever. Me, personally, I'm adopted, but I know my dad's not white. As you look at me, I go by white American because that's all I've been known as. And that's what I want to be known as. But there are some half black to white that look white, some look mixed, some look more black. So there's some. My brother married a Mexican girl. His oldest son had blue eyes, looks like a mixture. His middle son, who has autism, love that kid. He looks probably more Mexican than his daughter, Caitlin. She's like 18. She looks more Latino. So how do I feel about it? Would I date a mixed blood? Let's say they're half Arab, half white, and look white. I'll probably put them as unattractive. If they look more Arab, like Nadia Carr, I'll put them in the Arab category. And think of them as Arab. You're going to be Arab. Lotto. She looks like a mixture. She looks more black. So I put her in the black category. I'm not against mixed type. I've seen some. And you look at someone like Haley Nicole, she's an Instagrammer and a life coach. She looks black, but you can tell she has white blood, but she looks more black. So I would definitely put her in the black category. What if they look half and half? Because you know some of them do look half and half. It would depend on the individual and all that. But if a lot of them look more white, I'll put it with white women. I wouldn't really go for her. I would find like a white woman. Sometimes you look at these people, you can't tell they're mixed. Sometimes you can't tell they're mixed. Like Haley Nicole, Haley. You can tell she's mixed, but she looks more black. Sometimes they look equal. I'll probably say that's probably good looking. So I have nothing against. Let's say I'm an American foreign guy. I don't care about American or foreign. I'll date a rapper. I'll date a goody two shoes. I'll date a virgin. I'll date a nerd. I'll date a cheerleader. I'll date a stud. I'll date a goody two shoes. I'll date even druggies. You know, I'm careful with druggies. The only thing I wouldn't date is a hooker. I would never date a prostitute. I would date a stripper or whatever. I'd date a rapper, a athlete, whatever. So it depends on what they look like. Creoles are mixed. They look pretty black. I'd put Beyonce Knowles as a black girl. And same with Rihanna. It would depend on what they look like. Overall, I have nothing against mixed blood. Like Lotto, you look at Alicia Keys, she looks black. Look at Halle Berry, she looks black. So I'll put them in the black category. Gorilla Dad Dominican, she looks black. She looks more the African look. Her mom is black. So she's half Dominican, half black. I would put her, like, if I saw her dad walking down the street, I'd be like, that's a black man. Just by looking at him, I wouldn't be able to tell he's Dominican. The Latin, the mixed race, mixed group, but they're so mixed up. They look good. I know in Brazil, there's the black Brazilians and the mulatto Brazilians and Native American Brazilians and all that. Jeanette of Brazil, she looks more white, but she looks Brazilian. So basically, like, that's who I want to get a tattoo of. I saw Gorilla. For a little bit, I was not into modern day music. And all that rap music. Then I started getting into Gorilla. I saw Gorilla and I saw this young, fine, gorgeous, beautiful, I'll say it, black woman with a lot of tattoos. So I was like, man, I gotta get a tattoo of her. I want to get a tattoo of Gorilla on my chest. The glorious album cover with hearts around it with the word big on top and glow on the bottom. That's what I want to get a tattoo of. Hearts around it. I don't know how she'll take it, but you gotta remember, like I say, Mary Jean Baragas, you look at her, she's a porn star, in case you didn't know. You be like, dude, she's Latino, like she's Mexican or Cuban or Venezuelan. She's Dominican. She has a big butt. She has a fat booty. And then you look at Cardi B. A lot of people consider Cardi B black and say she wants to be black and whatever, but the word she says, but she's more. She does have a fro and all that. You see pictures of her as a kid. But she goes by Latino, or Afro, not even Afro Latina. She says Latino. She did that song. I like it like that from that Spanish song, Bad Bunny or something like that. I don't know who it was on the song. So she's more Latino. That's what she calls herself by. And I don't like when white people use the M-bomb. They hear Snoop Dogg and the rapper say it and the black people say it, so they do it. I don't like when black people use that with me. I've had black people use that with me. I don't like the word cracker. I think that's a bigot name against white people. I don't. So, bottom line is, I think white people should use it. Since the N-word, I think white people should use it with each other, to each other. I think black people, if they want to use an N-word, they can. With each other, to each other. I don't think no other race has the reason to say cracker or honky or whatever. Snow bunny, whatever, you know what I'm saying? As a white man, I say that. I say cracker. If I call a white person a cracker, that means I think they're a sellout to the right race. Like, they're not into white history, they're not into white culture. They feel white people should be blamed for everything. And white people privilege this out. If I call you a cracker, the white person, that means you're a sellout to the right race. And I'm not one of these Nazis or skinheads, and as you can tell, I took the word cracker and used it, but I also don't think white teenagers, even Latinos and Asians and such, should use the N-word. You see a lot of white teenagers and Latinos like my M-bomb and all that, because they hear rappers do it. I think it's wrong. I think it's stupid. But black people have their own feelings about that. They let them, so I don't know why. Just like the term they call Mexicans and all that. I think only Mexicans use it. I think Asians should only use that one. Uh, I think only Asians should use their terms. I think the Americans should be the only use terms. Like the Washington, I think they're nameless now, but their team, like every group has been persecuted, been persecuted and have been persecuted and guilty of persecution, racially, gender-wise, sexuality-wise, religious-wise, politically-wise, whatever, But, like, in the Americans, a lot of people will dress up, the teams and mascots in the Americans, and they dress up in the American shoes and feathers and all that. I specifically think it's wrong, but if the Americans don't care, then why should I care? Just like white people, a lot of white people don't care if people say they're privileged or you call them that name. They just don't care. They don't care about people they don't speak their mind about racism and all that. Because to them, it's no big deal. They don't want to talk about white people being slaves and Slavics being slaves. That's where the term slave comes from, is Slavic. White people took each other as slaves. Every group is guilty of persecuting themselves within. And the whole Dominican thing, I think a lot of people in the African dispersion don't like comments on black church. Black people, what black people went through and all that. I know it has to do with different culture, different history, different nation, but I think somewhat it's like, I don't want to be concerned blacks, how people look at black people or have looked at black people. I think the problem in the world right now is self-hatred, low self-esteem, history, and all that. I'm pro-Palestinian, pro-Israel. I understand. I talk to both sides. People that talk about both sides, it's a very confusing matter. Well, Hamas did it wrong. But should they have immigrated? Well, I want to teach them about Israel. Can I teach this secret about Israel? It's not a religious nation. It's a secular nation. They have a lot of LGBT and liberal stuff. A lot of Jewish people, like what God told the people, they're atheists. They call themselves Jewish people, but they hate themselves for the Spanish Inquisition. They hate themselves because of the Holocaust. They blame God. They're secular and Buddhist. A lot of Jewish people blame themselves and all that. Jewish people have been called children of Christ and all that, which I'm not into the Bible. I have been. But I'm not going to go into it, But it's a matter of Dominicans don't want to care about blacks when they don't want to look at themselves as black, plus different history nations. But I wanted to say how I feel about mixture women.